All right, hello, I'm back. All right, so we're looking at Project 4B still, and I wanted to point out two things very specifically, not those other things I pointed out last week or reiterate, but primarily the elevator pitch, that first 45 seconds to a minute, where preferably the team leader or the project manager gives us a synopsis of the project report, progress report. Then we have this, it's kind of like a little, I don't want to say it's a little blurb, but on here too, each one of our slides, we want to make sure that we kind of keep these short, right? We're wanting to think about only like maybe 6 or so words per slide. Yeah, right here, number 4, presentation guidelines. Presentation deck must contain no more than 6 words per screen or slide. So really want to think, this is helping us think about concision as we move to Project 4B, or maybe some of our Project 2 slides, we had like sentences or complete sentences, in some cases maybe some paragraphs. But really try to whittle those down, because what we don't want to happen is while you're speaking, they're just reading the presentation, right? Like this would probably be considered bad right now, because maybe you guys are reading this way instead of listening to me, and I maybe should put this into a slide, and that's what I'm learning right now. But that's something we need to think about. Are you reading this, or are you listening to the speaker? So presentation deck, so I'll highlight this again right here, no more than 6 words per screen or per slide. And then the project must be introduced with a 45 to 60 second elevator test description. So the first person would do that, not saying that they can't continue on with some of the other introductory material as far as introducing team members, going through the qualifications. But then we want to think about in the body of our discussion, right? Is your work progressing as planned? So we get to the body of it. So you have a person who introduces, give the elevator pitch, maybe does the rest of the introduction, and someone comes in. Now each one of you are going to discuss a particular aspect of how the project is progressing, right? And then so think about your slide decks when you're putting those together. No more than 6 words. I'm okay. You can use a graphic or something like that, but still we want to limit the amount of verbiage that would then be distracting from listening to you speak extemporaneously about the project and the process. So you've got past and future work right here. And then you've got, as far as main body sections, introduction, discussion about past and future work, discussion about teamwork, and then you've got the conclusions. So give us an idea, a sense here, what's happened, what's going to be happening, what progress do you expect. Then we're going to talk about the project timeline. We still want to continue to speak about specific duties with specific members of how those things are continuing to progress. Has there been any changes in that? We also might want to think about and then at the end, how do things stand overall, and what do you think you should do? So, for example, let's say that you we had high hopes or high expectations of doing a lot of personal interviews, or maybe our topic or the subject matter with which we are dealing really relied on, or would be much better if we had those personal one-to-one interviews with people, and those things are just not coming to pass, or they're becoming arduous, or people aren't getting back to us. It's that kind of thing right now because we can't get in front of somebody. We understand that. So what are we going to do? What's the overcome move, right? How are we overcoming it? What's our solution? How are we solving that problem, right? We've had some discussions, I know, with you as teams. Well, I know that. We'll put it here into the presentation form and addressing it, so you let all your stakeholders know what you're doing. I primarily would be best if we could do X, Y, and Z. Being unable to perform X, Y, and Z, here's what our team is doing. We're doing A, B, and C in its place, and we're doing these things to make those things happen in that kind of detail. So I hope that makes sense. That's a great opportunity. All these, as we've discussed before, I know we've discussed them in our teams, that we really wanted to do this, this, and this. And I say, I know, and I know it's really challenging and difficult right now. We're going to overcome that. And what's our next plan? What's plan B, or what's plan C? I'm going to do as much as we can with what we can garner, what we can gather, research and the sources we can get, whether they be secondary. And in the primary sector, we think about the websites. We've thought about looking to see if there's any places where there's customer feedback or other things like that might be available to us online that we can get close to primary research. And so we'll talk about those things when you have an opportunity. So that's what we'll do. Project 4B, right? All right. So you've got that all set. Do Project 4B, and then we'll worry about Project 4A. There's videos about that, but I'll be back to talk to you about 4A either later on in the week, or I'll probably tackle that next week. You guys stay safe and you stay awesome. Let me know if there's more I can do for you. Bye for now.